Hey guys, welcome to round one of this Aether Revolt draft. And yeah, we have a perfectly keepable hand. We have Renegade Map, Merchant Stock Hand, 2 lands. Have a couple of good 3-drops to stop a fast start if our opponent has one. Ooh, Aether Swooper. Very good. And I want to delay playing out this Merchant Stock Hand if I can, because we're not going to be activating that on turn 4 more than likely. I mean, the one argument for doing that is if we had a card to improvise out early, but given that we had the Renegade Map to play, I think we're still fine. So we can probably get in and make a little servo. We can cast a Renegade, a Maverick Thopterus next turn if we draw it. Alright. Yes, I would like to make a little servo. So I could play a Pillar Bug to double block, but I'm actually just going to play it a Hinterland Drake. Actually, never mind. It doesn't matter because if I was about to say if I drew a 6-drop improvise, this might matter, but we already have 2 artifacts in play. Filigree Crawler is fine. It's a 2-3. Boo. Let's get in for 3 damages. And yeah, here, let's just play this guy and a Dock Hand. And next turn we can just start Dock Handing if we want to. And we have a block of Pillar Bug plus Servo on the Servo token. It's possible that he just goes equip the goggles to the Crawler and attack for 3, but that uses up a lot of his turn, and I feel fine if he does that. So we can double block, and if he wants to use a combat trick, that's fine. It's pretty much a 1-for-1 because we got that servo there. So what could he have? He could have Leave in the Dust, Built to Last, all of which I'm just fine trading my Pillar Bug for. Yeah, I was about to say he wouldn't attack with the Filigree Crawler if he didn't, but he might just want that to die so he can attach his Inventor's Goggles to it. Yeah, I think the reasonable block is just do this. Having a 2-3 blocker is surprisingly annoying, given that our main game plan right now seems to revolve around having our aerial onslaught there. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Tezzret's Touch. That's a good draw. So what we can do is attack with a bunch of stuff, and then Furious Reprisal, the Aeronaut, and the Filigree Crawler. I think it's a 2-3 Thopter. Maybe we just attack with the Swooper? a lot of interesting options. So I think we play swamp attack with like Pillar Bug, Drake, Swooper, leave the Dockhand back. I think our opponent probably does not block. And then the reason why I'm a little bit less concerned about our opponent getting the 1/1 Thopter is that it's going to match up a little bit poorly against this Tezzeret's Touch. Alright, here... So our opponent has his dead in 3 turns. I'm debating whether or not to activate the Pillar Bug or play Tezzeret's Touch or just leave up the Dockhand. Actually, our opponent has 7 power with the Inventor's Goggles. Given that I didn't Tezzeret's Touch pre-combat, I think... Actually, I think we might want to Dockhand to try digging for a removal spell. Oh, I should have just activated that if I were to do that line. Okay, that might be relevant. I mean, we have him in a 3-turn clock because we have the reprisal that he doesn't know about, while he has this on a 2-turn clock. See, that was a slight misstep because that might actually be a turn. Okay, so he doesn't equip the goggles, which is interesting. Okay, that's a Sky Skiff. So he can make a servo and crew this at instant speed. Ooh, Windkin Raiders is good. You can block the Aeronauts. Can it do that if he equips? It'll become a 5/5, so it can't, but we can double block. So we can do this and still cast this for 5. Well, you might as well cast it for 3, leave up something in case our just a bluff with. So we can attack here, give it lifelink, play Raiders. Windkin Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, this is where I'm fine if he just cruises to block, because I'm more concerned about the lifelink here. Might actually have been a little bit better to make this into a 5/5 with the touch. Give this lifelink. And let's bluff shock, shall we? So if he equips, he'd probably just go block. I mean, there's no point in adding more to a stacked block in case our opponent has a bounce spell or impeccable timing or something. If our opponent goes like, crew this, attack with both, what do I do? Well, obviously can't block there, so I'd probably go like, maybe we just take the damage there, eat the skiff. This can be a 3/5 with the goggles. Makes me kind of wish we had a flying artifact, you know? Thopter token or something. I guess it just depends on what our opponent has here. Just do your worst. Okay. I feel like if he had a combat trick, he would just go all out, because there's not much that can actually blow us out here. I mean, that can blow him out. Like shock is the only reasonable thing, and built to smash only hits when you're attacking. So I like that my opponent's just using his entire turn here to... Ooh. Yeah, I think we just need to make this block. And actually blocking like this is correct, because if I block like this, I lose both my creatures, whereas if I block here, I only lose one. Alright. So things not looking great. Yeah, I guess what we can do is we can't pillar bug and give lifelink, which is a tad annoying. So we're at 8 mana right now. We can go touch. We can't give touch lifelink, unfortunately, but we can go touch and dock hand. We can go touch. We can't go touch. Lifelink, reprisal, and dog hand, which is not great. I mean, we might as well attack with the pillar bug because our opponent isn't doing a ton. Maybe we should have sacked this for black to make this better. We can also just go kill this. He gets one Thopter, which we can block, kind of. If he goggles it up, then we don't have a ton of profitable blocks there. If he goes here, that becomes a 3/4. We can't really block that. This can't really block plan sounds pretty bad. I think our best plan might just rely on us being able to bash in for a lot of damage, since the whole we can't block effectively idea sounds pretty bad. I guess the last card in his hand could be a select for inspection. Alternatively, we could just do this and then leave up dock hand. You know, I don't hate that play. And then next turn we have a lifelinker. Alright. See what our opponent has. I think he's just equipping the goggles this turn, unless he drew something great. I mean, I don't think our plan can beat my opponent drawing something great, but... Alright, opponent attacks with those guys. Not attacking with the Sky Skiff. Interesting. Do I just chump with the Swooper? I mean, it's not doing much else, but I could draw another Swooper and then maybe do a... Can't quite do a big block there, but I could draw something. Do I have another flyer? Ooh, a Plunder. Yeah, if I draw a Plunder, then we have enough power to stack in front, so... Blocking here, not really on the menu. And I don't think there's a combat trick that blows us out here. Alright, tap the map. See, there we go. Ooh, Trophy Mage. We have just the implement left. Well, we're doing Plan A, Part 1 of... You know what I mean. I mean, if he's just chumping with the Sky Skiff, that's fine. Oh, well, that's dies, okay. Yeah, well, that's not great for us because it denies us lifelink. That's still okay. I guess we can just go kill this. He gets, like, it's not as good, like, with the reprisal. It's not as good as it would be, otherwise, because he's still left with 2 creatures. Yeah, we can do this and then play the Plunderer. I think it's a little bit better than Trophy Mage and play the Implement because we don't get to affect the board as well. Okay, so I don't think we are dead. Like if we can fade just one draw step from our opponent and the Illusionist Stratagem, then we should be pretty clear for a big attack with the Pillar Bug. I mean, that was like one of the few cards that could really stop us from gaining life there. I mean, I guess apart from a straight removal spell, but it's hard to beat straight removal spell in any case. Alright, well, this is like... We can put everything in front of the Hinterland Drake. Actually, that's probably what we have to do because we're dead to combat trick anyways. Like, we can go block, chump block here, and then combat trick leaves us with that. Oh, but we have the lifelinker, and he's attacking for 5. Yeah, actually, that saves us from a combat trick. Because there don't seem to be that many in blue-white, in case you haven't noticed. And, yeah, this frees up the way to attack with a gigantic lifelinker, and we still have the swooper to block with. Ooh, Welding Sparks. Perfect. As Reed Duke would say. will pick up the implement, but not play it. So, Welding Sparks, that deals 6. I think I Welding Sparks in his upkeep. That way, if he has something like the mana leak, then he has to use a bunch of mana. Well, not a bunch, because he can tap the never mind. He has the Thopter and the goggles he can tap. So he would have to use a grand total of 1 mana. So I guess it didn't matter that much, but it's still the correct play if we aim to do it this turn cycle. Otherwise, we could wait to block with the Swooper. But our opponents had enough, and that's alright. That's fine with me. Do I want to make any changes? There's Leave in the Dust, Yahini's Expertise. Do I want to go with that plan? Our opponent has quite a few flyers, so that might be worth considering, but the black removal and the red removal are kind of similar, and it would be a real question of whether Yahini's Expertise is better than Furious Reprisal, and I think in that game it probably wouldn't have been, so I will stick with what we have. There's the possibility of Make Obsolete. Our opponent did have a bunch of Thopters and Servos, and that's actually worth considering. What would I cut for it is the thing. Don't want to cut Hinterland Drake because our opponent has a lot of flyers. Ditto, Aether Swooper, and Skyship Plunder. The Swoopers synergize with the Improvised Plan, and the Plunder, it's just a 2-power flyer that can occasionally get in with a double block. See, I'm in for Make Obsolete. I think it's actually better than the Reprisal here, because often we saw that he has Crawler and stuff, and the 2/3 flyer, the Hinterland Drake, and he has servos and such, and so this can make it so that he just can't crew anything. This hand is definitely a mulligan. Alright, this hand is not. We have a Renegade Map, Skyship Plunder. Life is good. And then probably don't crack this till we absolutely need it, because we do have this Tezzret's Touch. If I don't draw a 3rd land by turn 3, I can always just crack it. But I prefer not to. Or it'll be. No blocks, for sure. That's a Hinterland Drake. Okay, so... Interesting choice this turn, because we could go Tezzret's Touch, swing. Or we can go Renegade Map, crack it, get Mountain, Harness Lightning, and then we have our 4th land drop for the Scrapper Champion. I think that's what we have to do. Don't want to have our plan be hope to draw a mana source, even though that would be a little bit more efficient of a turn with Tezzret's Touch. I mean, we have tons of artifacts anyways, so. And then next turn, we have the champion to profitably block the 9th bridge patrol for a turn, and then just be a big old juggernaut. I guess if we draw a 4-drop artifact, which we don't have any of. We might consider playing the Thopterist. Huh. Opponent just playing Skyskiff passing. Don't think there's a flash 2-drop in those colors that can crew it, so I feel fine attacking with the Skyship Plunderer. Oh no, I should have played the Scrapper Champion first. Womp womp. That's what you get for playing too quickly. Because that could mean like an entire turn of 1/1 counters. Actually, it does mean an entire turn of 1/1 counters because then we won't have any more after it attacks. Yeah, that was a misstep. It might cost us the game if we can't grow this. Like if the game goes so that we have to make this big enough to attack through, and then we don't have enough energy to do so, that could be a tad annoying. But it's a learning experience. So next time, I'll just have to think about this ability. Like, throughout the game, it was just trinket text. Well, now that the Skyship Plunderer can't really attack, I guess the point is kind of moot. This becomes a 3/3 double strike. Yeah, we're doing it. Our opponent has no good blocks in the least. Go, go, Thopterman. I wonder if this guy should be a rebel. It'd be kind of neat, you know, like in your Lin Civi deck. I'm being a little bit facetious, like your Lin Civi Commander deck, right? I'm saying this guy should be a rebel. Oh no. Like, that just brings us back to parity. I mean, I don't have any way of dealing with the arrest, but we still have a pretty good board. We can go block, and then Tezzeret's Touch the Thopter. Obviously, not that great against blue-white because they have bounce effects, but like here I'm just fine. Trading off these guys here. Like, the one thing we'd have to be worried about is select for inspection. Leaving the dust, not so much here because, and now we don't have to worry about that. Ooh. Yeah, we can just Sparks the 9th Bridge Patrol right away. Before it gets a chance to untap with whatever that thing is, the that one that lets you flicker 2 dudes. So yeah, it's just find an answer in 3 turns. I mean, he gets a turn of chump blocking with Skyskiff. Actually, maybe it's just correct to not even worry about the. Yeah, I think we should have just not worried about the 9th Bridge Patrol because he can just to minimize draw steps. All right. Yeah, I don't think we attack with both because if we trade, whatever. I guess he could have impeccable timing to trade everything off. Like the Skyskiff And the timing. Guess he does not. So putting our opponent on 1 turn clock here, needs to draw a flyer and play it. Yeah, no blocks. He could have the 4/3 Revolt guy that gains 5 life. Still learning the card name, so even though I did this at review, I couldn't tell you what the card name was. Airdrop Specialist or something? Airdrop Aeronauts. Okay. Ooh. Well, we're just going to force our opponent to chump here. And I mean, yeah, I guess like I get a servo here, and I get in for one free damage. If our opponent has Select for Inspection, then he has Select for Inspection. And this way, if he has Select for Inspection, then we can kill the servo, get in for 2 damage. Alright. So that was good. Yeah, so playing the Welding Sparks was incorrect there, but it turns out it didn't matter. Our opponent probably doesn't have a ton of ways of just dealing with the 5/5. I mean, that's one of the things about the Ensoul Artifact deck, right? Like I played that a lot in Standard when that was legal. Sometimes your opponent just can't beat a turn 2 5/5, and even though this is like a turn 6 5/5 in the air, your opponent's not going to have a ton of ways to deal with it at a profit. Like if our opponent had Revoke Privileges or something, that would be kind of bad, but in the end, it's also just a Thopter from Maverick Thopter. So that was fun. See you guys for round 2.